Hey there, I'm Adam Jen, and today we're going to talk about how Amazon's Fallout Season 2 doesn't care about New Vegas and it doesn't respect your intelligence as fans. Alright, let's get to it. We focus on a man who knows, Mr. House. He's jumped by these three dudes, one of them looks like Hank from Breaking Bad, and what happens is that they basically push Mr. House to the back of the bar. One of them punches him in the face, I believe that was the Hank guy, and Mr. House just smiles, is looking at that like, oh, I like that, like he's some cliche anime villain. So what happens is that Mr. House decides to just go on ahead and opens the back of his car trunk and then just says, oh, I have like 30 plus $1,000,000. All I have to do is let me put this device on your head. Hank, being poor and homeless and being an idiot, decides, sure, I'll do that. He is practically hypnotized. He kills his two best friends, and then he's going to go do a Frankenstein's monster to Frankenstein and try to kill Mr. House. But conveniently, his head explodes. Mr. House, like a Saturday morning cartoon villain, runs off and decides to say, ooh, I need to fix this. Of course, this has a lot of problems and issues if you played New Vegas or not. If you played New Vegas, you know that there are these assistants that help Mr. House called Securitrons. And Securitrons are practically just the robots that Mr. House invents that basically do everything Mr. House does and wants no matter what. And Mr. House literally had a collar device, or that little neck thing he had back there, that can basically control people to do whatever he wants. Then there really isn't a point for the Securitrons, and it kind of does go against Mr. House's obsession with technology and whatnot, and how that's going to be the future, when he already has the technology to already enslave people to do whatever he wants. Then this also is dumb because this kind of negates the purpose of slave collars in the Fallout world, which the slave collars practically work the similar fashion, except they don't mind control you. It's just that, okay, if you're at a certain point and somebody decides to detonate it, you die. So if Mr. House has this type of technology, then there's no point of slave collars even existing in the world of Fallout. If anything, this could completely subvert and change the entire battle of Hoover Dam and just the entire issues with the Caesar's Legion, the NCR, and Mr. House. Other thing is that if Mr. House had this technology, why didn't he just put this on Benny's neck and then just have him basically do whatever he wants? He could just deliver the platinum chip and then Mr. House could just immediately win. See, this just shows you that the writers of Amazon don't give a shit about the story of Fallout New Vegas, because them doing this completely negates everything that happens in New Vegas, because you could just solve the problem when you have this advanced level of technology in your stories. But they didn't think about this because that's modern media writing for you. Alright, back to present day. So basically we focus on the Great Khans, and it's just a little bit odd, but isn't the Great Khan supposed to be a majority Asian faction? But yet there's a bunch of blacks and whites there for some odd reason, and I'm pretty sure that the Great Khans are Mongolian as their ethnicity, not just Asian. Ooh. And it's just, to me, it doesn't make much sense when majority of them are Asians, but yet we don't really see any Asians. I think there's only like one there. It's kind of like saying, oh, we're going to showcase the triads, but yet we're going to just see a bunch of blacks and white guys when the triads are the Chinese mafia. Like, this doesn't make any sense at all. But this is what the story does, right? It's at Fallout Amazon. It makes absolutely no sense. Don't think about it. Alright, so what happens is pretty much that they have the Ghoul, and there's a bounty on the Ghoul. And yeah, the Ghoul, since there's like tens of thousands of ghouls, but he's the Ghoul because there's like one that's special out of the 10,000s there. The Ghoul is literally hanging by a thread, well, more like a rope, and is about to die until Lucy from the Dinosaur Monument, we're going to talk about that monument in a second, basically as ignorant as possible, decides to give them an ultimatum, yada yada yada. We all know what happens. Gunshot happens, boom, 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 boom. The Ghoul and let's say Lucy escape. However, let's just talk about one of the issues I have from this. One of them is Lucy, and I feel bad saying, well, I don't feel bad saying this, is the truth. I'm an honest guy. Lucy as a character is just absolutely dull, boring, and pointless, and the only benefit she has is that she's attractive. I know that sounds terrible, but hey, blame Amazon Bethesda's writers for not writing good female characters. Don't blame me. I'm just keeping it 100 with you guys. Besides that, I guess we're going to talk about the Dinosaur Monument. I know there's a name for it, but I completely forgotten about it. But it is not supposed to be faced towards the town. Now, the thing is that it's supposed to face opposite towards the town, towards the wasteland. The whole purpose of that is that it's a sniping position. When you go to the wasteland, you practically have nothing but a wide open fields. There's barely any cover. And when you have the dino head and it sees a threat, that basically makes you a perfect target for that said sniper. If you have the sniper and the dino head basically facing towards the town, as you saw in the fight scenes, there were places for cover, there was places that you could hide. It basically makes the sniper's job harder. The fact that they have it changed from the opposite side is absolutely stupid, and it just shows you that the people of Amazon don't really know anything about strategic warfare, fighting, or even the basics of that. But hey, this is Amazon's Fallout. Remember, the plot doesn't matter. Sorry, Boone, but you don't matter anymore. All right, now I'm going to talk about the absolute worst part of this episode. The Vaults 31 through 33 storyline that's happening. I'm going to combine all this into one thing because it's absolutely pointless. It's garbage. It completely sucks. The new overseer brings up the point, the water chip's broken. Without the water chip and without limited resources, we all could die. You tend to think, this is going to be similar to Fallout 1, where it's going to be this dramatic and drastic event to where the player has 100 days to make sure that they can go and save everybody, right? That's what the overseer would do, right? No. You know what the overseer does? This freaking idiot of a woman, what she does? She decides, I know, we should have therapy sessions. I kid you not. She decides to have therapy when the chance of your people completely dying. And let's just say why this is completely dumb for multiple reasons. Reason 1, if you played Fallout 2, there is a Vault, I believe it's Vault 8, I'm not sure, where there's a gag or joke to where there's hundreds of water chips in there. And how the water chip issue isn't really that big of a deal. If the overseer was smart, they would go and say, wait a minute, there's a bunch of water chips out there. This crisis isn't as big of a deal. And even if she didn't know that, she would at least have some idea that, we got invaded by outsiders. So the wasteland can't be that irradiated. It can't be that horrible. And since I basically work for Vault-Tec practically wants to experiment on the people here. Well, guess what? You can't experiment on the people here if everyone's dead. What should have happened is that the overseer said, we're going to send a crew out. But instead, no, what we get is therapy. And what we get from that therapy? I'll tell you what, we got more incest jokes. I'm not even joking. Amazon Fallout writers have some very weird, interesting relationship with incest. That's all it leads to. And I just want to make on this little rant. It's just funny how incest is acceptable, right? Like Fallout is making that acceptable. Modern media, they shield this all the time. But if I wanted to have something like attractive women with a big chest or a big booty, that's a sin against everything. It's like the worst thing of mankind. But incest, intercourse with animals, giving birth to animals, to the normies, hey, that's completely fine. That's completely peak fiction, man. That's completely acceptable. So from the other part of the vault, now we go to Norm. And Norm is still, surviving from the brain dude. In his weakened state, the brain machine doesn't even go out of his way to be like, I can just interject you with that syringe and then just drag you off. I know he's a little robot, but I'm pretty sure there has some contingency to do something. And if not, then Vault-Tec's a complete bunch of idiots. But from what happens from this entire thing, instead of doing anything smart, the brain that says, sneaking up on Norm when he's weakened and fatigued from not having any food or water, it just completely monologues, says, you're so hungry. Why don't you just go in the vault? Why don't you just go roll up and inject him and put him in there yourself? You stupid machine. But no, that doesn't happen. And I kid you not, the entire resolution of that whole thing is that Norm decides, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to walk right up to him, basically take the controller off, and I'm just going to waken all the people inside of that vault that was supposed to be asleep. I'm just going to waken all of them. This entire time, this complete waste of time happened. Like, we could have just avoided all this from happening from the beginning. All right, so we get back to the Ghoul and Lucy. Only thing that really happens is that Lucy basically tells the Ghoul that, I'm going to bring my dad to justice. The Ghoul says that she's an absolute idiot, and the Ghoul is completely right. Now, the big issue with this whole thing about law and bringing people in is that who is Lucy going to bring him into? Is it going to be her vault? Because the people from Vault 31 through 33 are complete idiots, and I wouldn't trust them to basically open a door. So both Lucy and the Ghoul go to Camp Starlight, go in between like the vault and there and whatnot, the area. All they find is this dude in there with the remote neck thing on there, that Lucy's dad was there and basically put this thing on him or whatnot. Alright, so we're now at the final part of the episode. We're focusing on Hank, Lucy's dad. So, Hank discovers this Vault-Tec secret base, which, if you are a very bright person, you maybe can know this is Vault-Tec without needing a freaking gigantic logo saying, we're Vault-Tec. Jesus, it's like having Team Rocket or Dr. Eggman. But that's actually, no, that's wrong. That's an insult to Team Rocket and Dr. Egg. They're far better villains than anyone in this show. They're better characters than anyone in this show. But anyway, let's go back to Hank. So Hank goes in there, he takes off the power suit, he basically suits up into a nice dress suit, he basically sees the technology, the neck control device technology, and he's on the phone. His message is presumably to Mr. House, and the message pretty much goes like this. Boss, I want a raise. I want a promotion. Listen, sir, I'm gonna finish the project. I'm gonna finish it, and when I'm done, you're gonna promote me. You're gonna give me the raise I deserve. I've been a loyalist towards the Enclave. To Vault-Tec for
over 200 something years. I deserve a promotion. I deserve a seat in the club. I want to be part of the big boys club. Please, just let me join. Let me join.
Thanks for watching and have a good night. Bye.